after Mitz passed away, Franco and I, we were talking about it at great length, of all the fun that we've had with Mitz and how much Mitz meant to us both and how what an impact he made in our lives. And so we thought we wanted to do a little video here, and so that we can share some of our stories and how we met and how much fun we had with Mitz actually. So this is what this is all about. So I just want to start off right away and just say I met Mitz in 1968 when I came over here to the United States. I walked into Vince's gym, which was the kind of the first gym that I visited on the West Coast, and there I saw all the great bodybuilders there, Larry Scott and Dave Draper and Vince Gironda and Don Howard and on and on and on, the list goes on, and everyone was pumping up. And then all of a sudden, as I looked around and saw these amazing muscles and all the guys that I admired so much in the magazines, I saw this Japanese couple walking in the front door at Mitz's gym. And I saw them Vince's gym, on Ventura Boulevard. And so this was, like I said, late 1968. It was like October. And Vince came over and he knew them, and he said, "Oh, hi Mitz, hi Dad," and all this. And he says, "Do you want to meet this Austrian guy here that just came over? You have heard of him, probably, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He just won Mr. Universe twice and blah blah." And this, "Oh yeah, oh of course, yeah, I know." And Dad was very nice, and so this is how we met. And the next thing I know was we started talking about it. I barely could understand English. I was not really good with the English, so he took his time and he could relate to it because he's from Japan and all that stuff. So we started talking about bodybuilding and everything. Then he said to me, he says, "Come on over, let's go across the street to the Sizzler restaurant." And that's where we went. And then we sat for another hour, getting all the food, the steaks and the eggs and everything that they had there. And then we were eating. And before I left, he said to me, he says, "Now remember, I want you to come to Hawaii. I want you to come, we do the bodybuilding competitions over there, and I want you to guest pose. I want you to come over and have a good time. Come over for a week or something like that." And so I said, yeah, I will come. And he said, "No, promise." And he really kind of looked at me and he said, "No, promise. I want you to come over there. We're going to have a great time, right, Dad?" And she says, "Yeah, I'm going to cook for you and all of this." And that's how our relationship...
You didn't know why?
No, I mean, it was like, he's just a very, very friendly, outgoing guy, very hospitable, always receiving everyone when they come through Hawaii. And he was telling me there that we have Tommy Kona over there. And I said, "Oh my God, Tommy Kona, I saw him in 1961 at the World Championships in Vienna, lifting weight and winning Mr. Universe." I said, I idolized this guy. And he says, "Timmy Leon." I said, "Yeah, I've heard of Timmy Leon. He's always with this Hawaiian trunks and stuff like that." And he says, yeah. And he says, "He has also beautiful girls." And I said, "Oh, I like the Hawaiian girls." I said, "This is, now I know for sure I'm coming." I said, I remember the Hawaiian girls. And this is how the whole thing went. And so we had a terrific time. And then I think you later on met him. So when we went over there, so maybe you can tell me your story.
You went there before me once. I think.
I went over there in December that year.
But the minute I got here to United States, which was in June 1969, you said to me, "We are going to Hawaii." And I sat here and said, "Scott, California. I want to be here. Santa Monica, Muscle Beach, the guy's training. Why was he wants to go to Hawaii? What's in Hawaii?" "Oh, don't worry about it. We go to Hawaii, we're going to do a show." When I heard the show, I said, "That makes sense."
Right.
And I don't know if we went to the Mr. Hawaii was the next year.
That's right.
Or maybe the same year, at the end of the year. I forgot, it was in the fall. Or maybe the next spring in 1970.
It was the next spring because we also went to Japan from there. Remember?
From there.
We always said, "Let's go to Japan also."
So we said, "We are going to Hawaii." Then I said to myself, "Okay, we are going to Hawaii." I look up everything, you know. I knew about Hawaii between Sardinia. We have beautiful beaches, and then in Hawaii the same thing. And then we made the long trip to Japan and all that. We got to Hawaii, and here I meet Mitz. And Arnold looked like he was there for years. You know, he knows everybody and all that stuff. We did the show, and you know, we thought nothing. We get picked up in Hawaii, and they throw up this
the lace.
The lace, they call them, the flowers, and they're throwing on top of one another. I said, "One is enough," you know. And people walking around, and all the girls were there like this. I said, "Hawaii." I thought, they are really beautiful, these Hawaiian girls, you know. And half of them were Japanese.
Right.
They looked Oriental to me, you know.
Yeah.
And we did the Mr. Hawaii. And the first thing I remember this like today. Arnold says, "Oh, we have to work out this afternoon. Let's go to the gym." We go to his gym, and looked like Gold's Gym. Same thing as Gold's Gym here. Heavy dumbbells, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, you pick up all the primitive stuff, no machines. And we trained there, and I felt like, wow, every gym in America is like this, you know? And we had the greatest Mr. Hawaii contest, and we spoke there, it was the entire spiel, seminars, and the same story with Mitz, but made so much fun is Arnold knew Mitz and that so well by then. I'm sitting like this, you know, not saying anything. And Mitz is instantly getting lost in Hawaii. And I said to myself, oh, I understand why Mitz is getting lost. He must came from Japan. And Arnold said, Franco, he's been here for 100 years, so forget about it.
We went downstairs to his garage. We drove out with his Cadillac. He always had a beautiful big Cadillac. And so he drove out of the garage, and immediately he said to Dot, he says, which way do you want me to go? And she says, go right, like always. Every day we go right. She says, oh, shut up, Dottie. Shut up, Dottie. I'm driving now. Don't talk. She said, you just asked me to tell you which way to go, so I have to talk. No, you don't have to talk. You really, I'm concentrating on how to get there. And I'm showing the boys around a little bit. And she says, but you told me to talk. So this went on now all the way to the gym. They were arguing back and forth. She said, he says, don't talk. He asked her questions, so she had to talk. And so we were laughing in the back seat. We were just howling, thinking about what a kind of a team this is. And then we also saw of how particular he is and immaculate he is in the gym. Remember, you could eat off the floor. I mean, he was like cleaning everything all the time, and Dad was handling the women's gym over there, and Mitz was handling the men's gym, and he was working out 2 hours every day.
Yeah.
The basic training, like you said, you call it the primitive weights, but it's kind of the basic free weights. That's what we're talking about. It's the free weights. There was the barbell, and he did this bent over rowing, 10 sets of bent over rowing. Then he would do 10 sets of squats. Then he would do 10 sets of presses. And I said, why do you do all this kind of basic weight training and not using machines? You have all these machines around here. And he says, oh, the machines. He says, I hate those machines. He said, this is a bunch of crap. He says, I like the way, Reg Park trained and Tommy Conner. We always all did the powerlifting exercises. Otherwise, you can never get traps. In other words, there's new bodybuilders now, when they don't do that, they use machines. They can never get the lower back. You know it is. You got to get the strength. And you remember, he was like a fanatic about the power training and about the cleanliness of the gym and all of this stuff. And then he took us for lunch. And then we realized of what a fanatic he was when it comes to nutrition.
My God.
Remember that?
I forgot about that. Nutrition. He came out in the restaurant, immediately put something on the table. And he put his pills up lined up. They looked like a peacock. Exactly. Like the tail of a peacock, like this.
The pills.
What is he doing,
Exactly.
Yeah, then he started giving us lessons on nutrition.
Yes, and they said, this is the vitamin E. This is very important. Arnold, you got to go and take at least 3 a day. And then Franco says, 3 a day? No, you're smaller. For you, 2 is enough. But you see, the mistakes everyone always makes is they take the same amount as they prescribe. He says, but you can't say everyone should take 3 and everyone should take 1, because it depends on a body weight. So he got into the details of that. And then he did the food. He says, you see, this amino acid is not complete, and this amino acid is complete. But if you eat this amino acid, this complete amino acid makes this incomplete amino acid complete also. Now you have the whole thing. He says, but remember, there's only 70 grams of protein that the body can take at one time. So he gave us that list, and he had hydrochloric acid. What was those pills that they just
The enzymes.
The enzymes. Yeah, he says, you have to take that now. He says, this is a whole different ballgame. Right, Daddy? And she says, yeah, absolutely. I'm talking to the boys now. And then
he ordered for us fish. We ended up in the best fish restaurant in Hawaii.
Right.
In Waikiki.
Always the best restaurants with him.
And he says, we are eating fish tonight, blah, 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 blah. And I say, yeah, but, what do we eat? He orders, and that's the end of the line.
That's right. And he always paid. He never let us pay for any meals. He was always very, very generous with his money and all this stuff. And the other thing that I thought was so great about Mitz was that every year he would come to Columbus, Ohio with his wife, and he would watch our competition. If it was the Mr. Olympia, or if it was the Mr. Universe, Miss International, or then later on the Arnold's Classic, all of those competitions, every single year he was there. And then for a while there was no competition in Hawaii. Remember? Then he got all inspired again because of our competition. And then he says, I should get all of those guys that win here, bring them over and have them be guest posers. So then he always went to the winners of the Arnold's Classic or to the Mr. Universe or Mr. Olympia, whatever it was. that he asked those winners to come over there, and also the women to come over to Hawaii. He was so happy that he finally did the Mr. Hawaiian Island and the Miss Hawaiian Island, and he started promoting, again, all over the health and fitness and about the, the bodybuilding sport and the strength sport and all of this. And we went over there many times to many of his shows,
yes,
and handed out trophies, talked to the audience. We were judging over there, having a great time. And also, as you know, he came here regularly. He came to my wedding. He was in the wedding, as a matter of fact. He was one of the 10 people or so, whatever I had, 10 guys that I had. They were the ushers in the wedding. So because he became such a close friend, that he was part of everything, and he was one of those guys that's kind of like a father figure in a way, because you could ask him about anything and he will give you really good but strict advice. He was very strict.
When we met Mitz, when you met him before, you knew it before me, but when I met him, I realized that this guy is so loyal. It's like, this is it, you friends, forever, and it's right there. Don't, you can sway that. So I met something that you don't even know what I did. One time I went to Hawaii, and I wanted to be with a girlfriend there. So I go to Waikiki, I lie down on the beach, and I go to a hotel, nobody knows I'm there. Nobody. This is it, But I saw a couple of wrestlers going up and down Waikiki, saying, hi Franco, And,
you mean professional wrestlers?
Yeah, they were professional wrestlers. There were some walking up and down, I recognized them. But the truth is that, Waikiki and Honolulu together, they're less than 2 million people. But it's a big population.
Right.
Okay, in the evening, comes the evening around 7 p.m., I go to the hotel room, the phone rings. I say, nobody knows anything. Why is the phone ringing? Pick up the phone and it's me screaming.
Screaming?
Screaming. You in Hawaii and you here and you didn't call me. And I said to myself, oh my God. He was so furious. I'm coming over. And I said, okay, what do I do now? I said, Mitz, I wanted to call him. He said, no, you didn't want to call me. You've been here all day.
I can see why he gets upset about that.
You've been here all day. He was so upset. And he came and says, what's wrong with you? And the truth is, how did he find out so fast? There must be everybody in Hawaii. If they see me or you there, they call Mitz.
They call Mitz immediately.
They call Mitz. Did you see Franco there? Arnold there? That was the end. I say, okay, after that, when I got to Hawaii, I will call him first.
You better call him first, exactly. Have you ever been to his health food store?
Oh,
because this is an interesting thing, because Mitz, all of a sudden, he became such a fanatic about health food that he opened up a health food store, but a fantastic health food store, and everyone in Hawaii knew. That's right. Everyone in Hawaii knew to go and get their health food, that's supplements and the fresh foods and everything like this at Mitz's and Dot's health food store. And again, they did that together. They were extraordinary partners.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their little arguments, everything, but this was all for the fun. I think they just wanted to entertain us. The reality of it is really that Mitz and Dot had the most extraordinary marriage.
Yeah.
And it was like an example for anyone, when you look at the marriage, how they worked together in the gym business, how they worked together in the health food store, what a great couple they were. When we went up to their apartment, how she cooked all the time. Yeah. And remember, he had all those Tiffany lamps. He had the collection of Tiffany lamps. You were the one who fascinated.
I
just loved his Tiffany lamps.
You remember, it says, I paid this $32,099, $34,099.
Exactly.
You collect them.
And when Dot died, which was before Mitz passed away, I think that Mitz didn't want to live anymore. He always said to me, he says, I just don't want to live anymore. I want to join Dot.
I want to finish my things. I want to finish my things. I remember saying.
That's right, yeah.
That's why he got more busy. Yeah. He was all over the place after that.
That's right.
He was doing many things.
But he was amazing. He lived, how old was he when he passed
94.
away? He was 94. So think about, it was a perfect proof of how important health foods are, how important food supplements are, how important eating well is, and training and exercising every day. Because him, like Joe Weider, like Jack LaLanne and all those guys, they go way over past 90 years of age. And he was in great shape. He was still the last year traveling to the Arnold's Classic. I mean, think about it. At the age of 93, he was still at the Arnold's Classic, still visiting me there, watching the show and the whole thing like that. So the bottom line is, I mean, we think the world of Mitz and Dot. We have been enriched by their lives and by our relationship with them. And so we, even though they have passed on, the way I feel, and I'm sure you feel the same way. In our memory, they will always live, and I think they always will be an inspiration to people in Hawaii and all over the world, because they had such a great impact. And they were so wonderful to so many hundreds of bodybuilders from all over the world when they came to visit. And so they have been a terrific, terrific couple, and we miss them, and we always love them and always will love them.
Yeah, Mitch and that is like they are here right now in the city.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, hasta la vista.